Hi everyone, I'm Janneke and welcome to my channel Books and Stitches, where I sometimes talk about books, but mainly talk about cross stitch. However, lately that has kind of switched around and I now have more book videos lately than cross stitch videos. I'm trying to get both to like an even amount, but yeah, we'll see how that goes forward. This will be my August TBR. This is the first time I'm trying to record it through my laptop, so we'll see how that works out. If I figure out that it doesn't next month for my TBR, I will try a different way. But hopefully, with this, you will be able to see my laptop screen as well as me. Because for my TBR, there is a lot to show you. So let me get out of the way. This will be my August TBR and all the readathons I'm working on. So, first of all, um, I don't have this the right way. Um, we'll figure it out anyway. Let me put myself over here. So I have a couple of things that I try to do every month. So right now there are 7 things that I want to get done at least one book for every month. The first of which is a year in Aldia, as you can see over here. My prompt for that this month was light in the title. So if you're new, a year in Aldia is a readathon hosted by G from Book Roast. It is a spin-off kind of thing of her Aurelian readathon, which happens twice a year, and a year in Aldia is just a year-long readathon version, kind of. So every month you have a different prompt depending on which pathway you take. My prompt for this month was light in the title. I ended up not really finding a book that has light in the title. I did like look a lot, but nothing I had really matched. So I ended up going with sunny in the title. I figured that was close enough. So the book I am oh, wrong button. The book I'm going with is The Super Sunny Murder Club. I figured that is kind of like light in the title. The sun gives off light. So this is a middle grade collection of short stories that are all mystery. It is kind of the sequel to A Very Merry Murder Club, which is the same, only they're all Christmas, winter themed, and this time they're all summer themed. I don't think they like actually have a connection other than that, so you can read them like in whatever order you want. But I have read A Very Merry Murder Club already. I think I finished it in January this year. But I did quite enjoy it. Obviously, it's a mixed bag. Some stories I absolutely loved, some I didn't really care for. I'm expecting the same for the Super Sunny Murder Club, but I am excited for it because some of the stories in A Very Murder Club I absolutely loved. So then after that is the Bookemon monthly prompt. So Bookemon is another year-long readathon. This one is hosted by Merb. Um, every month there is a new Bookemon that appears, and you have to read a certain prompt to catch it. But that prompt doesn't get released until August the 1st, so I don't know what the prompt is yet. So that one will be blank. Hopefully, one of the books I have picked for something else will fit into that, but we shall see. Other than that, there is also backlist. I have a couple of authors that I decided at the beginning of the year that I really wanted to read more of. So I've picked one of them and picked a book from one of them to read. And this month, that is B. Fitzgerald's The End Crowns All. I have read her Persephone retelling. Girl Goddess Queen. I could not think of the title for some reason, and absolutely loved it. And I have had this book since it came out last year and have wanted to read it since, and for some reason I just haven't picked it up yet. And her next book in her like mythology world, they're all standalones, but they're all mythology, not retellings but reimaginings. Her next book in that world comes out this month, and I haven't even read The End Crowns All yet. So that is definitely what I want to read. Whoa, I don't know why it went there. Spoilers. um, for that. So, The End Crowns All is a retelling of the Trojan War, of Cassandra in specific, Cassandra and Helen of Troy, and it is a sapphic story. And yeah, I just absolutely love Girl Goddess Queen, so I want to read honestly all of her books. I own all the books she has published so far, so I also own her like adult thriller, but I've only read Girl Goddess Queen so far, so I need to pick up the speed because I want to like be caught up with her and stay caught up with her. So that will be my backlist for this month. And then next is a Yauk book. So I have attended Yauk a lot over the years. Yauk is the Young Adult Literature Convention that gets held once a year in London. It used to be held in the summer and now it is held in November. I love it. I don't go every year because that's just not financially possible, but I go a lot of years. And I am hoping to go again this year. And I have looked at the authors that are announced to be like attending. And there are a couple authors that will be attending where I own one of their books but haven't read it yet. And I really want to read them before Yelk so I can like know if I want to buy more books by them and get them signed at Yelk or if they're just not for me. So the one that I will be reading this month for that is Amy McCaw's, let me get there, Mina and the Undead. So I'm not 100% sure what this is about. I just know that I really liked Amy McCaw. I was at a panel with her as well as like a workshop that was kind of like a quiz, and it was just really fun. I loved her, so I wanted to try out her book. I know it is vampire-y, it is YA. I'm assuming there's some type of mystery, considering it says mystery on the cover, but I'm not 100% sure, so we will see. But that is the book that I will be reading for that. Then next is Herkyat. Herkyat stands for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, and round two of that started in July. Um, it is hosted by Q Wordy, and it seems like a lot of fun. So I've decided to try it this year. I didn't try it last year. I didn't know about it last year, so I'm going to try this year. And I have all the prompts on a wheel, and I decided to spin it once a month and then pick a book for whatever comes up. I will need to read more than just those, but I figured that is a way to get those tricky prompts worked in. And of course, everything else I read, I will also try to fit into Herkyat. So for this month, I spun the subgenre prompt. So for that, you have to pick a genre and read, I think it is 6 books in a subgenre of that genre. So my genre that I've chosen is romance. And the only one that I have not yet done is dark romance because I decided that was a nice subgenre for it. All the other 5 subgenres I've already fulfilled. So once I read this, that prompt will actually be done, which is very exciting. And for that, I decided to read Butcher and Blackbird. So I'm not 100% sure what this is about. Again, I have just. Why is it not showing up? There it is. I've read a lot, not read, I've heard a lot of hype about it. I've heard a lot of people on BookTube read it and absolutely love it. I know it's like serial killery and that they're like killing serial killers, I think. And it sounds fun. It's definitely a dark romance. It should also be a romantic comedy. So I'm happy with that. I think that makes it a bit more palatable to get into. But honestly, I was just really curious after I heard so many people give it 5 stars. Ignore my background. I did not think about like cleaning that up before I started filming. So you can probably see some like clothing and pillows, but just ignore that. Anyway, that is my haircut prompt. Then I also recently, I mean in July, signed up for NetGalley and requested a lot of books. I don't have a big following, so I didn't actually expect to get any, but 2 of them I did get. One of them I got denied, and the others I haven't gotten a response yet from. I'm assuming that means I've been denied, but that's fine. I figured as long as I have arcs requested that I have gotten access to, I will read one every month. So I have actually read one in July. Well, I've almost read one in July. Right now it's July 30th, and I still have like 50-ish pages left, but hopefully I'll have finished it before August, which is Maisie vs. the Himalayas, which I absolutely love and adore. But not going to go into that this video because it's not for this TBR. But the other book that I have gotten access to is a romantic comedy called The X Effect. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know much about this book. I was definitely excited and requested more things than I probably should have, but this sounded fun. It is a romantic comedy. It's sapphic. It takes place at a wedding. I think one of the main love interests is the wedding planner, and the other is the wedding photographer. I could be wrong about the details, but and it's a second chance romance. I think I kind of enjoy second chance romance. I haven't read enough to know for sure. But what I've read so far, it was seemed fine. Like it's not my favorite trope, but it's definitely not a trope that I hate. I know a lot of people really dislike second chance romance. I don't feel that way so far, at least. Like I said, I've only read a couple of them, but so far I've enjoyed what I've read. So I'm really excited about the sapphic rom com aspects of it, and I like the idea of books taking place at weddings. I know a lot of romantic comedies take place at weddings, but I haven't actually read any yet, so I'm excited to give this one a shot. And then Bingo is like my own personal challenge that I made at the beginning of the year that just has some goals on it that I personally really want to work on. It's not affiliated with any like bigger challenge, but my goal, well, it's a bunch of different ones. The goal I will be working on this month, because I have kind of slacked in it so far, is my Rangers Apprentice readathon. It's not a readathon, it's just me doing it, but like my Rangers Apprentice reread. So Rangers Apprentice is a series that I absolutely loved as a kid, and last year I decided I wanted to reread it. So last year I read the first 5 books, and my goal for this year was to read the next 5 books. I've only read one of them so far, so I'm definitely behind considering we're already like over halfway through the year. So I need to read 4 more. So I want to read one every month. I do really love them. It is like a medieval-esque world, where the main character is like a ranger, which is kind of like a spy of the kingdom, and it's middle grade. It's just a fun adventure. The last 2 books I read, actually, I read 2 this year. Okay, better than I remembered, because the last 2 books is kind of like one adventure. So in my mind, they kind of like combine into one, but it is 2 different books. Um, the last 2 were like the main character's first time as a full-fledged ranger instead of an apprentice, and this will be the start of like a new adventure. I think this one and the next book again are kind of like one adventure together, if I remember correctly, and they're going to go to like the country where the like mentor of the ranger's apprentice like grew up, and we're going to go more into his like history, and I am really excited to read it. So these are rereads. I've read them as a kid, but it has been like over a decade. So I'm excited to like get a taste of it again. I'm going to move myself now, because while those are the only like 7 main prompts that I want to do every month, there are 2 more books that I added to my TBR this month. I will show you, and as we go through and I'll show you the readathons, you'll find out why I added them. One of them actually is because it has been on my TBR for the last 2 months, and I have not gone around to reading it yet. So once something is on my TBR, I do actually really want to read it. I want to like not have it like linger. So rather than ignoring that it has been on a TBR, I decided to just keep putting it on TBRs until I've actually read it, because I am really excited to read it. I've just not been reading as much as I had planned at the beginning of the month, each month. I think I just make my TBRs too big, honestly. I'm still doing that, not actually fixing any of that, but that's fine. It is Kidnap on the California Express, as you can see. It is the second book in the Adventures on Trains series, which is a series of middle grade mysteries that take place on trains. It is about a boy and his uncle. His uncle like is a reporter on like trains, or like a writer about trains, and his nephew is going with him, and they keep having adventures. So in this one, someone gets kidnapped, and Hal and his uncle need to figure out what is happening and save the kidnapped person. I'm really excited about it. I really enjoyed the first one, which was, oh, what was it called? The Highland Falcon Express, I think. I feel like there's some word I'm missing in it. I feel like it's something on the Highland Falcon Express, but either way, I really enjoyed it. So that is the next one that I really do want to read this month. And other than that, there is also The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, which is a poem. It's not a full book, but it is on here because of a readathon that I will show you in a minute. So there are 3 readathons that I'm excited to try this month. None of the readathons I've done before are happening in August. Usually I do Aurelium in August. This year that is taking place in September. But one of the booktubers that I have found this year and absolutely love and watch all the time, Reading and Writing Live, is doing all the August readathons. Like she's literally trying to do all readathons that take place in August, which is honestly incredible. I could never, but it's fun to watch the chaos. And while she described the readathons, 3 of them caught my eye. So the first one of that is the Nevermore readathon, I think. I didn't actually write down the readathon on this page, but it is based on Wednesday, the TV show. And there are multiple teams. My team is the Black Cats, as you can see. And the group book for that is Mina and the Undeads, which is also part of why that is on my TBR for this month. And there are multiple prompts that, yeah, I will be reading. I'm trying to get a blackout for this one. So the first one is Black Mentality, a buddy read. For that, I've decided to just count Mina and the Undead because it is a group book, so everyone in the group will be reading it, or a big portion of it. So that is there. And there are I counted this for at least one other prompt. I don't remember which one. I think it is Throw a Bone, randomly select a book, considering I basically picked this book because of this readathon, which felt quite random to me. Oh, that's not right. Moon on the cover. It clearly has a moon on the cover. I really should have prepped this better, but it does have a moon on the cover, and I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. I don't know why I thought I did, but I didn't count it for the random one. But I did count it for moon on the cover, and I also counted it. Not that's it. I didn't count it for anything else. Well, you can see I am not like mentally all there. I'm really tired. But for this readathon, every book can count up to 3 times. So that is what I'm doing. I'm trying to fit books into multiple prompts. The next prompt is Edgar Allan Poe, which just means read something by Edgar Allan Poe. It does not matter what. I decided to try The Raven because I remember reading it for university and kind of enjoying it. So that is what I will be reading that for. And I keep spoiling it. That's fine. Um, Next is Dark Cover, for which I will be reading Butcher and Blackbird, as you could see. The cover is mainly black, so that should absolutely count. Then I am also reading that for, why do I don't remember, a popular book, because it is very much a popular book. That's why I'm reading it, because I got excited by all the reviews for it that I had read. I am quickly going to actually open Canva again on a different page that you should not be able to see. Hopefully, you can't see it. Otherwise, I will be editing this out. But just so I can actually see what I'm doing stuff for without having to keep going back. So that is it for Butcher and Blackbird. I'm not reading it for anything else. But next is book in a series. And for that, I will be reading Kidnap on the California Comet because that is the second book in the Adventures on Train series, which I love. So it counts for that. I'm also reading this for side character stealing the show. That is because what's her name? I'm so bad with names. I absolutely love her channel. She does a lot of middle grade book reviews. I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's Mag Reads, I think. Um, she's who I found out about Adventures on Trains from. And she said she really loved book 2 in particular because of the side characters in it. So the side characters are obviously stealing the show because she mentioned absolutely loving them. So it counts for that as well. And then besides that, I am also counting it for friend recommendation because I don't really have many friends in real life that I talk books about, but I'm considering booktubers my friends, even though I've never had an actual conversation with them. Um, it's not I'm not like actually considering them friends, but for prompts like this, I consider them friends. Um, because I am picking it because they like loved it. So I am reading this for friend recommendation again because Mag Reads absolutely loved it. So next, the prompt is a book about friendship. For that, I will be reading Ranger's Apprentice because the actual book in the series that I'm reading is Kings of Clonmel, which I think is book 8. But yeah, I'm reading this because friendship takes place like a really big part in the Ranger's Apprentice series. I will also reading it. Oh, I can't talk anymore. Um, I will also be reading it for Book Like a Bug. I don't remember what that prompt is. So I don't remember why. Oh, hug. It says Book Like a Hug, not bug. That's just because it's a comfort read. I love it. I read it as a kid and I reread it a ton as a kid. The whole series, not this book in particular, but I just absolutely loved it. So I think this counts for Book Like a Hug because I'm just going back to being a kid, really. And I will also be reading it for outdoor book, considering the majority of these books takes place outdoors in like forests or on the sea or on plains or whatever. I think this book in particular, they're going is very foresty. It is very green, so it looks foresty, but yeah, the majority of all of these books takes place outside. I think only a couple scenes really take place inside. And then for the next prompt, it is a cat book. So I don't know if this is like a cat book, but there is a cat on the cover somewhere, I think. Me double, yeah, you got there's a cat on the cover over here. And I also remember in Fairy Mary Murder Club there was a book or like one of the stories that actually focused on cats a lot. So I don't know if there's another story in this book that focuses on cats a lot, but there is a cat on the cover, so I think it should count. Then I'm also counting that for Get Loud audiobook. I'm planning on listening to this book, so it will be the audiobook that I will be listening to this month. And I'm also counting it for book with competition. I don't know for sure that there is a competition, but I looked up like a list of the titles of the short stories, and one of them I think had trial in the title. So I'm assuming there is a competition in that short story at least. So lastly, I will be reading The X Effect for Throw a Bone, randomly select a book. That is randomly because it is just whatever the book publishers decided to give me an arc to. So I think that is quite random. So the X Effect will count for that. And it's also about acceptance. I don't remember why, I'm going to be honest with you, but when I read the synopsis, it felt like it was about acceptance. So I'm sure it is in some way. I mean, it's queer, so it's definitely like acceptance in that way. So that is my Nevermore readathon TBR. Um, and then the other readathon that I was quite excited about is Lake Stardust readathon. That one sounded really fun. You're basically going on a summer camp. There are free group books. So I decided to be Team Blossom, and there are free prompts that you have to do for Team Blossom. And other than that, there are a ton of different activities you can do. I just picked four that the books I had already chosen for the previous two things fit into, but if I read anything else, I'll see how that fits in. I might switch things around. I think there will also be like activities. So if there is like an event going on and the book I'm reading fits for that, I will count it for that instead. But this is just like a little something. So I'm gonna move myself over here so you can see it better. So the theme prompts are a primarily green cover, for which I will be obviously reading Kings of Clonmel, because that is like basically all green. Then the next prompt is a primarily pink cover, for which I will be reading Butcher and Blackbird. I did count it for dark cover in the last prompt, but it is just pink and black, so I think it counts for both pink and black. For blossoms on the cover, I went with the X effects, considering there are flowers on the cover. I'm not sure if they are blossoms, but I think just flowers in general is like the intention of that prompt. Then for those are the three like books that I will be reading for my team, for like Team Blossom prompts. Then just the general activities that everyone can do. I just picked four, like I said, that fit the vibes that I already had going on. Meeting new friends. There are a bunch of different prompts for each like section. I decided to not do more than one per section for right now. I might change my mind later on in a month if I end up reading more, but for now I just picked four sections and one prompt within each. And if you're at camp, you have to meet new friends. I will be meeting vampires, and the prompt for that is to read a book with vampires, for which I will be reading Mina and the Undead. So that is very fitting. Next, I will be going to a campfire and I will be roasting marshmallows, because that is the like ultimate camp activity, I feel like. And for that, you just have to read a cozy book. So I'll be reading the Super Sunny Murder Club, because I think those are like cozy mysteries. One more, yeah. Then next we're gonna go swimming, because one of the only camps I've been to was a school camp that was a sailing camp. So we went swimming quite a bit in that. We went sailing more than swimming, but we went swimming too. So for that, the prompts I decided to go with is the floaty one, for which you have to read a book with water on the cover, for which I will be reading The End Crowns All. It's not super obvious unless you zoom in, but there are a lot of boats on water in this book. So, and last but not least, we're gonna play some games and puzzles because I love games. So let's have a puzzle and read a mystery, for which I will be reading the California Comets. So nothing new. You already know all the books that I will be reading. I'm just going through the readathons for fun because it helped me pick out my TBR. But yeah, that is what I will be reading for Team Blossom, for the Lake Stardust readathon. Like I said, things can change if there are like certain events going on. I might switch some books around, but this is my plan right now. Then lastly, there is the Love Yourself readathon. Um, and I only recently found out about this one, and I just decided today that I wanted to go for it because it sounded really fun. It sounded nice to have like something non-reading where I can just like motivate myself to do other things. However, because I only decided to do this one this day, like today, this morning, this one is not a blackout yet. So I don't know if I will add a book to make it a blackout. There are two book prompts that I have not yet filled in, and I don't have one that fits both. I did look in what I had, but I don't have anything that fits both. So I don't know if I'll add two books or if I'll like take recommendations for something that fits to both books or if I'll just not get a blackout for this one. But this one is very much about self-care. So for the first prompt, you have to hydrate, make sure you drink. A lot of these are not reading, which I think is fun. So then there is a rainbow cover. For that, I decided to go with the Super Sunny Murder Club because it's just an explosion of colors. Like, I don't think there's an actual rainbow on the cover, but there's so many different covers that, not different covers, different colors that I think it absolutely counts. Then you just have to take a nap. I don't actually like taking naps because I never am able to take a nap when I want to take a nap, and I do take naps when I want to stay awake, and then I always wake up super confused. So I'm not actually going to try for this one, but I would be very shocked if I didn't have one throughout the entire month because with my chronic fatigue, I do sometimes just fall asleep without wanting to. So I'm assuming that will happen at least once this month. Then all the snacks. Just treat yourself on a snack you enjoy. That I'm very excited about. The next prompt is cuddle an animal. I don't have any pets, so I probably won't be cuddling an actual animal, but the host did say you could also just cuddle like stuffed animals, and I do have some of those, so I will be doing that instead. Also, I did not prepare this well at all, so I don't have like the names of everyone, but I will leave the original announcement videos of all of these readathons in the description box below so you can check it out. So next is another reading prompt. This summer vibes on the cover. For that, I will also, whoa, what is that? I don't know if you could see that, but something just popped up on my screen. It's gone now. Hopefully you couldn't see it. For that, I will also be reading the Super Sunny Murder Club. It is 13 Summer Mysteries. So obviously it is summer vibes. Then you have to take yourself on a date. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that yet, but it does sound fun to just like go somewhere by yourself, have fun, something you wouldn't maybe normally do because you're alone that you just can do on your own. I think that sounds fun. Then for animal on the cover, Super Sunny Murder Club again could fit, but I wanted to try to fit in all the books that I'm reading this month. I haven't managed to do that, but Witcher Blackbird has some birds on the cover, so I decided to put that there. Then be healthy. This can be quite open. You can do some exercise, you can eat some fruit, whatever. I think it's great to motivate yourself to be more healthy. That is really a goal I'm working on. So I'm trying to eat more fruit and exercise more regularly. So I'm excited to try and do that. Then we have to read a romance for which I put the X effect because it's like a rom-com. It feels the most romancy on my list. It's definitely a romance. Butcher and Blackbird is also a romance, but this just feels more romancy to me. So next you have to get some takeouts. That is not something I'm gonna try for, considering I get more takeout than I want. So I'm actually trying to get less takeouts, but I'm not like deluding myself into thinking I won't get takeout at all this month. So that will happen at some point this month, but it's not something I'm gonna work towards. Graphic novel, manga, and comic is actually the one I don't have filled in yet. I don't have any on my list that I'm like super excited about right now. There are some that I want to read, so if I have some extra time or just am in the mood for it, I might read the second volume of Wayne Family Adventures. There are a couple on like Herkiad Maybes that are on Webtoons, I might read something from that. I own Brielle and the Bear, which is a comic um, that I haven't read yet, so I might read that. I don't know yet. I'm not actively going to try for that unless I'm like in the mood for a comic or have read all the others because I'm not getting a um, blackout anyway. None of the comics that I own or that are on my radar have hearts on the cover. So, spoiler, that's the other book. You can see it right here that I don't have a book for yet. I don't have anything that fits both graphic novel and hearts on the cover. So if you know any books like that fit both, that are also like easy to get, so like preferably like online, you can get it for free, like through Webtoon or something. Um, please let me know. I would love to read it and do get a blackout. But since I have to read two books to get a blackout that aren't on my current TBR, um, I'm not trying for it yet. So if you have something that fits both, absolutely please let me know. But otherwise, we'll see towards the end of the month if I actually get through what I've got so far before adding more. Then the prompt that we kind of skipped is what's your favorite movie or TV show? Oh, I don't know if you could hear that, but my laptop is nearly empty. So let me turn on the electricity so it can charge. Yeah, what's your favorite movie or TV show is next. I don't know what I'm gonna watch for that yet. I don't really know if I have a favorite movie or TV show, but I am trying to watch more movies and TV because I have a lot of things I want to watch, and I usually don't watch anything in a month, or like maybe one or two things. So I'm trying to watch more. I might watch a Barbie movie because I do really love the Barbie movies, like the animated ones from my childhood. Or there are some actresses that I really love, like Megan Fahey. I really loved her. I want to watch more things she's in. I know she's in a new movie. I don't think it's new anymore, actually, but she's like in a thriller movie. She's also in White Lotus, which I've been interested in watching. So rather than something that's my fave, I'm more considering this just something I've been excited to try and watch. Then a 5-star prediction for that. It is The End Crowns All. I absolutely loved Girl Goddess Queen. It was a 5-star, and I'm expecting honestly all of her books to be 5 stars. I don't know if that they will, but since this is my second book and the first one was a 5-star, right now that's just my expectation. Um, so I am predicting this to be 5 stars. Then treat yourself, just buy something for yourself or do something for yourself. It's very open. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that yet, but I'm excited to do something. Then for reread, it is obviously, again, Rangers Apprentice, Kings of Clonmel. It is the only book that I'm rereading this month. There are a couple other books that I'm interested in rereading. I really want to read Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. But before I do that, I do want to reread We Were Liars. So that is one that's on my list of books that I want to reread. But mainly this year, I just want to reread Rangers Apprentice. So that is it. Then gain a new book. I will absolutely be buying books this month. I don't know which ones yet, but I would be shocked if I didn't end up buying at least one book this month. I've already bought Macy versus the Himalayas, but that comes out in August, so I will receive it in August, so that will absolutely count for this. And honestly, I'm expecting more, but I don't know what yet. But knowing me, I will buy more books than just that one. And then for small read, I decided to just put The Raven, since I will be reading it for the Nevermore readathon, and it's just a poem. It's very small. I wouldn't even count it as a book on like my challenges, but since I will be reading it and it's at a small read, I thought that fit perfectly. Then I need to move myself so you can actually see the last one. Take a relaxing bath or shower. That's going to be the hardest. With my chronic fatigue, I absolutely hate showering and taking baths because it is so exhausting to me. I will struggle with it the entire day afterwards. So I will be bathing and showering. Don't worry about that. I will be doing it, but I don't think they will be relaxing. I'm just gonna count it anyway. I won't do anything special for it, but yeah, I will be reading. I will be taking a bath or shower. It just won't be a relaxing one. And then next, read your fave genre. This year, my favorite genre has absolutely turned out to be middle grade mysteries. I did not expect that at the beginning of this year, but I have been absolutely loving it. So, my fave genre will be Kidnap on the California Express. not Express Comet, California Comet. um, so I'm excited to read that, and it has definitely turned out to be my favorite genre so far this year. And then be in nature, just anything really. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that yet. Probably just take a walk like in a park near me. I don't think I'll go anywhere because I don't have a car. And so getting to like an actual nature reserve or anything or like a bigger park is quite difficult because most of them are like really naturey. You can't just take your bike or a bus because it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere where the nice like walking routes are. So I'll probably just walk like in my neighborhoods, like, but I'll make sure to walk like through some more naturey areas. And then happy read for that, I will be also reading Catnip on the California Comet because book one in the series was very much a happy read. So this, I'm assuming, will also be a happy read. And last but not least is gift something to someone. One of my best friends' birthday is in August, so I will absolutely be giving her a gift. So that will be easy as well. I haven't bought it yet because she doesn't know when she's going to celebrate it yet. So I haven't asked her what she wants yet. I'm also working on a cross stitch gift for her. I'd originally intended to finish that and give that to her this year. We've been in a really big slump this year, cross stitching wise. So I'm not even close to finishing it. I'm not gonna try and finish it before her birthday because that's just not possible. So I will need to buy something, but obviously I will. That's not gonna be like a difficult thing to do because it is her birthday and I'm assuming she'll celebrate it somewhere in August. Because it takes place in the beginning of August. So we'll see when she celebrates it, but then I will give her a gift. Also, my mom's gift for her birthday back in April was tickets to Frozen the musical, and we are likely going to see that in August. So I will actually buy and give the tickets in August. I've already like given her a handmade card that's like a ticket to Frozen, but we hadn't picked a date yet. So I will be giving that technically again this month. So that will definitely be happening. And that is it. So those are the readathons that I will be trying to do this year. Not this year, this month. And that is what I will be reading this month. Let me uh, show you a quick overview. So this is what I will be reading this month. I will put myself over here, considering this spot is still empty. I will be reading something for Bookman as well. Hopefully, like I said, one of these books can just fit into that. But if not, we'll add a book for that. If I have to add a book anyway, I might see if I can add a book that has a heart on the cover so that I will be able to get a blackout on the Love Yourself readathon. If I do read a book with a heart on the cover, I will absolutely also read a comic or manga or like graphic novel, just to get that blackout. So considering that is quite an easy prompt, I'm not worried about that one at all. But we shall see. These are the books that are currently on my TBR. I'm also not finished with Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. My intention was absolutely to finish that in July, but I don't think that's going to be possible. The other books I'm currently reading, I'm still hoping to finish in July, but I don't think I'll be able to finish Not Quite That Yet in July. So I will be carrying that over into August. That is what I'll be finishing first, hopefully in like the first day or two of August, but we shall see. So that should maybe also be on here, but yeah, that is also something I will be reading in August. And yeah, that is it. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope this like format worked. And if it did, I will do it again next month because I think it helps that you can like see all the books nicely as well as what readathons they're for. Next month will be Aurelium. That's probably the only readathon I'm gonna do next month, unless something like I hear about like really sparks my interest. But that is one I absolutely love. I prefer readathons that are like Aurelium, where you try to like get a career or follow like a certain path rather than a bingo board. I want to like kind of be a character and have my own challenges. So the it's not Evermore. Everbloom readathon is like that as well. That is less like extensive because it's very much new still. I don't know when the next round for that will be. Actually, that might also be September. In which case, I will be doing two readathons because I absolutely love Everbloom as well. So I don't know if that's in September or in October, but I think it might also be September because it's also like a back to school thing. So in that case, I will be doing 2 readathons. But yeah. Also, if you like it like this, let me know. But if you think you would like it better when I am actually like thinking of which books to read and like deciding with you, also let me know that. I could maybe do that instead if you think you would prefer that. But for now, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will zoom in a bit to say goodbye to you all. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. And have a lovely day. Let me know what you're going to be reading in August and if you're part of any readathons. Bye!